Hey guys, I needed to make a video on a distinct difference I think we need to understand and define in what we're doing and what we're marketing to and how we run our businesses and a lot of that. There's two avenues that we need to focus on. There's theory, which is why would something potentially happen? What do you think the result's going to be? How do you think it's going to end up? It's a lot of how do you think? It's a lot of conjecture based off of what you think is going to happen, based off what you read. So maybe you read a blog post and then you theorize something's going to happen because of that market. And then on the other side, there's the technician or the technical aspect. So on the technician side, you're the one who's actually writing the blog post. You're in there testing things, understanding parameters, changing, adjusting, and modifying based off what you see, and then you're writing those blog posts for the theorists to read and then make more theories out of. Now, I think what happens though, and what we get messed up on is we read a blog post, we take it as fact, and then all of a sudden we think that's the greatest thing in the history of the world to do. And we need to get away from that. What we need to do is we need to use our heads up here, and we need to think with our own fucking brains about what could happen with this thing, what might happen, what could go wrong. Then we need to test it ourselves. This is the idea of understanding that we need to be able to think about theory and think on theory, but we also need to understand practicality and think on practicality. We need to test theory, we need to understand theory, we need to make sure this works in our market and it's not just something that worked in whoever wrote the blog post market. And then we need to work through it for a long period of time to make sure it makes sense for us. Then we can write blog posts on what we found out based off our experiences. Remember, what happens in one market is never going to be the same thing that's going to happen in your market. You can't take what someone else wrote as fact. You need to test, learn, and understand everything you do, everything you read, and make your own theory plus your own practicality out of it. So don't just be the guy who reads the blog post and then decides that that's fact. Be the guy who reads the blog post, develops their own theories, tests the practicality behind the theory, understands it, and then works back around and writes their own blog post based off what they saw. Thanks for watching.